two girls. Treasure, come on in. I am shaking up our beautiful denim for this project today. I'm excited. I know some people will go, oh, I don't like clowns. They're scary. These are not scary clowns. These are vintage clowns. These are vintage, beautiful, fun clowns. Now, we can make them scary, but I just don't see the need. Look at these cutie clowns. They're just having the most fun. They're just having so much fun. If you want them to be scary, we can totally make them scary, but I don't think we need to. And I have a couple of little extra blocks that we can make some little clown tags with. So welcome in. Did you see? Have you followed us on our social media? I hope you have. If you haven't, look how cute our planter turned. I like it. I hope you like it. And we dotted around all of the frames, dotted the tops because, dots are totally fun. So this, you put the plastic insert back in. This is ready for my Christmas cactus. I cannot wait to transplant it. Look at all the stuff on the table that's ready to move forward. I'm going to move a couple of things out of the way. I need a little bit more space. And I have so much on the table that I've been working with. We've done a lot of projects lately, y'all. We'll set those over there. This is going to be a fun project, though. I'm really excited for it. So I took out one of our wine bottles because you can see behind me, we have some project bottles to work with. And this one is in linen because linen is what I had out yesterday afternoon. I went and got my denim this morning, and I went and got my Cadre mold set. Have you used this? So I usually reach for dainty flourishes. I love dainty flourishes. They go with everything. And I reached for acanthus scrolls, but they're a little bit larger than I intended, so I didn't grab those. And then I spotted Cadre, and I was like, this is exactly what I'm looking for this morning. Also, grapes. That's just my cornstarch on my grapes mold set. But why would I need grapes for this? So glad you asked. Our dear friend, Lisa Lawrence, did a project with the grapes days gone by, and it turned out fabulous. It was the vision that she had. I'm going to grab my clay. And she inspired all of us to look beyond the mold set and what it's just like right in front of you and see what else you can do to make it something usable, different, creative. And Jonathan Mark Mendez, if you looked at Iron Orchid Designs last night, did just that. Now, I love Jonathan. I've learned so much from him over the years, but my inspiration came from Lisa originally. So, Lisa, thank you for that. Follow her at Sweet and Sassy Treasures. She's out of Michigan. And yeah, she's a lot of fun to watch. Great inspiration. But she's the one that taught me to use the mold sets for something other than which they were intended. Let's get started this morning. All right. I have the color, but I feel like we need to kind of map out where our molds are going to be and which ones we're going to use. That way we know where to put our color and we know where to put our clowns, because I don't want to put the clowns on and then have the molds impede on wherever they are. I love this. All right, so you know what? We could, we know that that's going to go there. So I'm looking for my pencil because I can never put my hand on my pencil when I want, but I know it's right here. Look, this is where I am in life. Don't judge me. I have my kindergarten pencil because it's the one that I know I will not lose because it's so big. Good morning. I'm just going to take and dot right underneath where my clowns are. That way I know that that's where my molds are going to be. I'm going to move my little blocks out of the way for right now, but we are going to get to those. And I have my acetate. So let's lean into our mold set. Let me tip you down. You have lots. I do. Listen, if you wanted to do a project, we have the materials here. I hate to throw anything away and it shows. Now, I love this one. It is large. So typically what I like to do is lay it on and see where it's going to go. It's going to encompass more than half of the bottle. I don't think that's bad, but that doesn't leave room for very much else. I love roses. We all know I love roses. So this would not be a bad option. That takes up half of the bottle space. That leaves us a little bit of room to utilize some other pieces. Here's some flourishes that we can add in. You know, it's not really unrealistic to just use the portion of this large piece that I'm interested in using, and then we can just do the center, and we can cut out a little bit here. We can overlay it. I think we could do that because I do love the roses, but this is more of a wintry feel for these clowns. I mean, it actually looks like there's snow around them. So let's see what we can do by utilizing just the portion of the mold that I'm interested in seeing happen. Good morning, good morning. I'm so glad to see y'all this morning. Thank you for being here. You just don't know how that makes a crafter. Sorry, my precious was calling me. I will have to call him back. All right. He's so precious. He was on the roof when I called him earlier, and then I panicked because I couldn't get him on the phone. Do you ever do that? I didn't mean to panic. All right. But he was on the roof, so I had cause to be concerned. All right, I want just this section right here, and I'm going to do the same over here. And I'm not really casting this heavy. I don't want a great big thick mold casting on my bottle. I want it a little bit thin. So it does not overtake the visual on the bottle. And I love doing bottle art. What I love more than anything is form and function. But I have some wooden pieces that lately I've been looking at, and I'm like, we could use these. I'm going to go ahead and demold these before I cast that center. So let's see if this will come out easily. I did not dust the mold set. Probably should have. I keep my clay in the fridge here in the studio. And as a result, sometimes, especially when it's really humid in South Carolina in the morning, my clay gets kind of gummy. So demolding can sometimes become a little tedious. But there we go. Almost. I almost made it. Da, da, da. Not a problem. We will just weld that back together and it'll be just fine. All right, I'm going to scooch this over and we'll demold the other side. And then I'll get my cornstarch out because, yeah, I should have done that to begin with. And we may have to cast these again. I might have to stick this in the fridge. I'm going to stick this one in the fridge because it doesn't want to let go. So give me just a minute. We'll set this over. It's kind of handy to have a refrigerator in the studio, y'all. All right. We know from looking at the bottle that we can lay this in up here. You can actually lay it down lower and frame it in. And I will likely recast this too. That looks terrible. All right. Hold, please. Tell you what. While it is handy to have a refrigerator in the studio, it is also handy to have cornstarch to put in the molds. So let's dig this out. I don't want to wait that long. My impatience is showing this morning. All right. There we go. Much better. We'll get all the clay out, dust it, and cast it again. That'll be so much easier than waiting for the fridge. All right. Set that to the side. I'm going to move my demold sheet out of the way. Good morning. Thanks for being here. All right, we're just going to go ahead and dust what we feel like we're going to use. Cornstarch is the bomb for doing, for dusting your molds so that you can cast them and demold them with very little trouble. Now, the problem is, if I do it wrong this time, there's going to be cornstarch in my clay, and that does not make it reusable. As it is right this minute, the way I did it, I can cast it again. But it's so humid that the minute I take the clay out of the refrigerator to do this, it gets damp, almost like it has dew on it. It's condensation. My left brain calls it condensation. My right brain calls it dew because dew is prettier. All right. We do have some extra here. So I'm going to smooth where I am. I'm going to use palette knives are so good for structuring when you're using the casting cavity in your own way. Because then you can just remove that excess, smooth those edges, and now, dun-ta-dun, let's demold. Should come out so much easier and so much cleaner. Yeah, that's better. Just like that, boom. And even on this side, see the difference cornstarch makes in your day? Oh, and they came out really nice. So we'll lay those there, drop them down on the side. Let's do the center portion. I've already dusted it, so let's get just enough. I don't need the whole thing. I just wanted the center medallion. And if you shallow cast, definitely make sure you dust. And I love to shallow cast when I'm doing bigger portions. That way I'm using less clay. We'll cut that section out right there because we're not using it on this side. And that little piece right there. All right. And let's see. Now, shallow casting, that takes a little bit more finesse to get that out without destroying the detail work. But there we go. We did it. And we'll set that to the side. That'll get us through most of it. And then we'll go ahead, dust this little flourish set right here. And we'll use those. All right. And I just like to roll out the clay when I'm going into a flourish cavity. Gives me enough to just lay it in the cavity. And that way I'm not squishing too much of it out. See, that went in pretty clean. And then this side. I need just a little piece more. We'll clean that edge up. Just like that. All right, let me slide my demold sheet. It's just a transfer sheet. We used it for ink day before yesterday, and today cleaned off. We're using it for castings. All right, we're going to leave all that. We're going to set this down. And I have my Rethunk Gunk right here. This is Rethunk Gunk. Love the name. Love the product. This is our decoupage medium, and it's from Rethunk Junk Paint by Laura. It is the decoupage medium for anything you're doing, whether you're doing rice paper, textiles, whatever your project, this does it. And once you put the second coat on top, it's a sealer. All right, let's center this. There's our dot. I think we can come down just a little bit. No, we're going to stay right there. I'll show you why in just a little bit. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this on. Just a generous coat of gunk in the area where our rice paper design is going to go. Not too much, not too little, just that right amount. How do you know how much the right amount is? Well, you do this more than one time. You just practice. I'm going to lay my brush up there. And as always, I'm going to spritz my rice paper. It helps with wrinkles. It helps so that when I lay it down, if I don't feel like it's straight, I can come back and lift it without tearing it. No wrinkles. Just right. All right, let's run the coat of gunk over the top of that. And that will seal that right where it is. Of course, we'll probably put some Tough Top over the top of this or something special. I can see some glitter happening here. Now, we've got our clowns on our bottle. Love that. We're done with our gunk, so we're going to close that. And we'll move that out of the way. And I just had my glue in my hands. Still do. My Tight Bond Quick and Thick, y'all. That stuff is everything. All right, we're going to close our clay over for right this minute and tuck it away because we don't need it. We don't want it to dry out. We need it, but we don't need it right this second. What we need right this second is another paintbrush. So I am going to grab one of these. That's all I need. Probably going to grab a detail brush as well. This is not the one. This is the one. All right, and my denim is right here at my fingertips. So let's grab this. Probably, I really want to put that on. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and lay these molds in. Now, I'm going to turn this one upside down. It's a little distorted, so I'm going to stretch it the way I want it. Love working with clay for this reason. Now, resin doesn't distort like that really, but there we go. Clay will distort even when you are using, even when you're doing a regular casting, you can still distort the clay if you're not careful. I have so many brushes to go wash. I guess I needed this after all. Why? Because I like to spread the glue out when I cast it. I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. Do we want to roll these out this way? Perhaps. If I do, that's going to go down. I want them to go up. So from our centerpiece around the bottle and around our, we're going to frame this in so that piece can go right there. All right. And that piece can go right there. I know I put too much glue on this, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to spread the glue as I spread it out on here. I'm going to do this casting as well. Too much glue. It'll just squish out the sides. It's kind of why I like to spread it with a brush. That way I get a nice thin, even coat of glue and my castings are ready to go. Let's flip this over. We dotted the center. It's right here. I'm going to come up into the paper just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. And then I'm going to press down the sides of the casting to make sure it adheres to the bottle really well. All right, that's on. Now let's take this side piece. Find our, connect the dot right there. And then we'll come up the side. It doesn't need to touch every piece of the rice paper. It can come around it a little bit. All we're doing is framing. We can create that frame however we want. Let's get a little bit more glue for this piece. I'm going to spritz my brush again, and then we'll spread the glue out on this side. I keep looking back to make sure I'm in frame. Can you see really well? I hope so. I can blow up the camera if you want me to. All right, I'm going to set that down. And then we're going to frame this side in just like we did the other. Find our point of contact here. And then just bring it up around this side of the rice paper. And just gauge where you put the other one. Make sure all of those edges are laid down, glued down nicely. Don't smush your detail work out. Just tamp it in gently. Now, we have the start of the framework around the clowns. I love it. Love it, love it. This needs to dry before we can go around any further. We can come up some more, but I don't think we need to come up. I think what we need to do is go around the back side of the bottle. I'm covered in clay and cornstarch, so I'm going to grab a couple of alcohol wipes, and I'm going to wipe my hands off real good real quick. Once I have done that, I'm going to wipe off the top of the glue. And yes, I could wear gloves. No, I'm probably not going to. Not for clay. I love the way it feels. I love to squish my hands in the clay. Don't judge me for that. There's something amazingly therapeutic about working with clay. Check your edges again. Oh, I love, in my mind, I already see this. I know where it's going. I still have the two little flourishes, but we're going to use those flourishes around the back side, I believe. I don't think we need to frame this all the way up. We can. We could. We could go one more. You know, would not be a bad program. Oh, that's a perfect frame up right there. All right, hold please. We need to do this. Get the glue back out. I was ready to throw the paint, but we need to do this first because these are going to frame up really nicely. Just a little bit on that other side because we've got extra glue here. And I know that. I always do that. And it's okay to do that. It's okay. Nobody's here to tell you you're using too much glue. I don't think I've ever said that in a studio session. All right. That's all for the glue right now. Let's lay this in. And I know we won't be able to really see the side right this second, but we're going to lay that framework right there and just manipulate the clay so that we get the shape and wipe the glue off. Wipe that extra glue off the paint because we don't want that. And let's go here and we'll do the very same. Lay that in and then manipulate the clay to fit just like we want it. There we go. Now that is a really cool frame. That's awesome. Let me look at it from here and make sure. It's kind of like a haircut. You've got to look at both sides to make sure You've got it the same on each side. So I'm going to push that out, pull that in. I think we're symmetrical. And what a great framework. And this is the Cadre mold set from Iron Orchid Designs. Now we can break out the paint. I'm kind of excited for this part. We can take these away. I'm going to stand this up so I can spin. So I'm going to blow the camera up so you can see better. All right. Paintbrush. Oh, this is a great color, y'all. This is Denim by Rethunk Junk Paint by Laura. It's a nice, rich blue-green. Look how great that goes on. Now, part of me wants to go ahead and paint those castings this color. Part of me says get a complementary color. And I want to add metallics to the castings. But I better decide what I want kind of quickly, because I don't want them to dry and not have any protection on them. And the paint protects your clay. It keeps it from drying too quickly, because when it dries too quickly, it has the tendency to crack. I'm going to go ahead and come up around the edges here just a little bit. And we'll need another coat. I'm going to go ahead and turn the fan on low so that we're drying as we're going. I love that color. That is really beautiful. But I believe those castings, we at least need, gosh, I could do a complementary color, a coordinating color. I don't want to talk myself out of it. I'm going to turn this over and get close to the castings. So I want to make sure all of that white space around the castings is covered. What coordinating color would we use with our denim? You know what? Everything else is in linen. So let's do linen on the castings. And then we can put our cobalt blue metallic over the top of that. I think that's a great idea. We need this to dry, and I will get a detail brush for the castings and our linen, which we still have right here. All right. I don't even think we have to go to the back side of this bottle to make it gorgeous. All right. Let's see what it looks like. We can always go over it if linen is not what we want. And of course, I just dipped my brush and got the denim on my brush because it's not dry. But it's okay, I covered it. do you think? That's what it looks like with linen. It's kind of nondescript. Doesn't stand out yet. You know I have all kinds of metallics. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of pearl over these castings, over the linen. I'm also thinking cobalt. And maybe cobalt into pearl. That would be a nice blend. And since the bottle is linen, this makes sense. So far, this makes sense. But at least we'll have something covering this so that the paint, the clay is safeguarded until we make a final decision. We have one more casting to do before we call it quits for this morning. I have some customers coming in from out of town, so I'm kind of looking for them to show up anytime. And I want to make sure I've got as much of this done before they get here so that I can take some time with them when they arrive. A little bit more right here. And then we'll set this to the side and let it dry while we cast another set of clay molds. This is where the grapes will come in handy. Now, if you know any of Lisa Lorenz's work, you'll know exactly what I'm getting ready to do. What I'm fixing to do, you'll know. And if you don't know Lisa's work, well, just know that what I'm about to do was inspired by her work way back in the day. That looks so cool. I love it. We're not done here. We're going to come right here across this top and into the neckline. So I'm going to set that in front of the fan. I'm going to cap this real quick, set it over to the side. I'm going to go ahead and put the cap on my denim. And let's grab our grapes mold set. And here's what we need. Now let me look at my clown one more time. Oh, perfect. He has his little clown hat in his left hand, and his right hand is pointing up toward his precious Victorian girlfriend's face. She's holding a fan. Yeah, I think we can make this work. All right. Dusting it first because my clay is super damp this morning. Amazingly hot temperatures and high humidity and no rain in sight for us. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to smush this out into about 1/4 of an inch and then lay it in. I'm going to use the micro rim to help me here, cut off any of the excess. And this technique I actually learned from Sally and Josie. It is called shallow casting. And I'm going to, I don't like that one for it. It's too rough. I need a nice soft bristled brush. All I'm doing is tamping the clay into the cavity because it's shallow cast. And before we go away and demold that, we're going to put one right here as well. And I'm just going to take the brush and tamp that in. Because we're shallow casting, and all that means is I'm not putting a lot of clay in the cavity, so that once I demold it, I don't have a real fat clay casting, because I don't want a lot of fat castings on my bottle. There's something about these slender bottles that fat castings look ridiculous on. So we don't want that. All right, let me lay these here, and we will take our little triangles and we will brace our bottle one more time. That way it doesn't roll around. And we're going to lay these up top. We're going to put this one down low. And I know I didn't use the brush, but I've already put the brush in the water. Might be able to do it. There we go. And I've used so many different colors of paint that my paint water is like multicolored. I don't want my glue squishing out and changing the color of my, I'm going to put them right here on the neck, and changing the color of my glue, because I don't want that on my bottle. All right, I'm just going to take this same dry brush that I used to tamp the clay down into the cavity, and I'm going to brush the excess glue off, because I don't want any glue mountains around my casting. All right, I love that. Now we're going to let those dry with linen on them before we do anything else with them. And why do I have grapes on top of here? Well, because when you use them like this, they look like balloons. And I don't know a clown, even with a girlfriend, that doesn't have balloons. Absolutely love the way this is going. Very excited. This is dry, so we can put a second coat of our denim on here. I'm just going to tuck the clay away real quick, if you don't mind. I like to take care of my clay because I learned the really hard way over the first couple of years of Iron Orchid Designs that I could ruin a pad of clay in a heartbeat. And since I am so frugal, I don't like to waste my clay. I really don't. All right, I'm going to spritz this just a little bit since it's been sitting for a minute so that it will brush smoothly. I'm going to get a little bit more of our denim, and we're going to go all the way around the bottle again to give a nice clean finish. Isn't that a gorgeous color? I mean, that is just past teal. Some people would call it a teal. But it's a really great blue-green ocean finish color. Denim even, like it says. That looks great. Now I want to do the bottom, but I don't want to do it right this minute because I'd have to dry the bottle upside down. And right this minute I don't have anything to set the bottle in upside down that I can dry it, but we will paint that bottom edge in our denim once we get the majority of this dry. So here's where we're going to have to stop for right now. But I do love the way this finishes. I do. All right, we will continue to frame this out, tidy up our color combinations, take care of our paint brushes, which will absolutely have to be washed today. Let me do this. Oh, I didn't flip it around today. Yay, wonderful. Look back here. Those are all tornado springs and single springs, tension springs. So yeah, those are good projects waiting to happen too. Do you need some? I think you'll find those on our website. We've got those available for you. I think I even did a multi-purchase discount. So if you have some crafts going on and you need some springs, we have them. We have them. And if you are interested in doing some bottle art, or if you are interested in doing some sort of project that we have done already, a planter perhaps, or a riser even, or if you just want to learn how to pour resin, cast clay, stamp something, because stamps are definitely a learning curve. Well, this is the place to do it. The studio at Two Girls Treasure is open to you for reservation because I need to know you're coming so I can clean up my mess first. And we will share some time and do some really cool crafting things. All I need to know is when. Thank you for being here with me today. I am going to continue to work on this gorgeous art bottle. Not through yet. Oh, we might have to do a part 2. It'll probably be recorded, but I'll share it here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. I appreciate it so very much. And follow us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram. We do have Pinterest and all the things. Make sure you take some time to jump over there and follow so that you can stay in touch with us. If you have any questions or if you're interested in booking a studio session, or if you're interested in doing a craft, you don't have to be here. We can ship you the supplies and peeling glue, or we can just do a live tutorial one-on-one across the country. Technology is amazing, and we can do all these things. Thanks for being here with me this morning on our live tutorial from the studio. I'm Diane Pruitt. I'm wishing you the very best day. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Fingers crossed, I'll see you again tomorrow, 9-ish. I say 9-ish because everyone's impeding on my 9 a.m. timeline. We'll get there, though. Have a beautiful day, y'all. Bye now.